My name is Charlie Haffey. The title of today's show is Question Types in Google Forms. There can seem to be a formidable number of question types in Google Forms, but work it backwards. That's what good teachers do. What do you want the response to be? Or even more importantly, what do you want the format of the response to be? Once you figure that out, it can help narrow your choice. There is quite a lot of detailed information here, so I'm going to be doing a voiceover on a slide deck that I made on this subject. That slide deck is available to you too. Make sure that you watch my presentation on response validation and options. Let's take a look at the question types and forms. Question types and forms. I'm Charlie Haffey. Choose your question format wisely. There are so many options, and each can fit a unique set of circumstances. Think of the result you need before you choose your question format. To start, create or open a form. Click on the first question section or click on the Add Question icon. So here I am in my user interface for Drive. I click on New, and that's going to pop up one menu, and then I select More, and that'll pop up another menu, and there's Google Forms. I just click on Google Forms and open up one. And I have a new one here, and I've titled it the Presentation Evaluation. And you could start right off the bat by clicking on the phrase Untitled Question and create your first question. And here, or later on, you could come over here to the plus sign and you could add a question as you go. While we're over here on the right-hand side, you see the Add Question icon. Here is an icon to add titles. This is where you click to add images. This is where you click to add video. And one of my favorites and very important icon here is how to add a section break. The default question type in all forms when you open a new one is multiple choice. It's quite helpful most of the time. To see the full menu of question offerings, click inside the choice option. So here I've started my question, and you can see the default is multiple choice. So either click on there or on the pop-up or pull-down arrow to the right, and you will get this menu. And I got to tell you, the first time I saw this, I felt a little bit overwhelmed. If you choose the short answer question, the answer can be in text or number input, and it is really meant for one or two sentence answers. This really is not an elaborate kind of answer. And you can set answer parameters in response validation. That asterisk means response validation is another presentation. This icon toward the bottom is the copy question icon. This is very helpful. If you set up a question that has some elaborate parts to it, so maybe you have it set up so that the numbering on the questions and the lettering for all the choices are just what you like, you can copy this question and then just go in and change the numbering and the question itself, and then the choices. On the other hand, if you're really unhappy, you can just delete the question. Start over. This is where we require an answer, which means during a test, somebody will not be able to get past this portion of the test unless they answer the question. There's a good time to use that, and there are other times when it's not that helpful. More options are the three snowballs or the snowman icon. And again, that little asterisk means that I will be covering that in a different presentation. Paragraph is really just a long answer. So the participants are allowed a more substantial entry. It fits an open-ended question very well. The answer has larger space limits. And that's what the paragraph icon looks like. And we'll cover the response validation for that in another presentation. Multiple choice, probably the go-to. You can give all the choices you like. Label the question and the answers. That's going to be extremely helpful for results. Participants in a multiple choice question are limited to one response. So here I have, what is your impression of this? We're in edit mode. When we get to preview, you're going to see what that whole question is. You'll notice that I have a 0-1 period format for the numbering of the questions. That and this formatting of the choices, capital A period space, capital B period space, the formatting for the numbers and the choices in this manner is going to be incredibly helpful when we get to the response sheets. You'll see what we talk about later on. You could, if you wanted to at this point, you could click on add an option. If you click on add other, it gives the participants a chance to put in a text answer. I don't know if I'd add that on a test, but you might. So here I have just the edit version. If I come up here to the eyeball icon, it allows me to preview what this is going to look like in the finished form. And presentation evaluation, what is your impression of this presentation? A, B, C, D, E. If they click on that blue submit button, they send in their results. Here, I click on the pencil icon and go back to edit. Checkboxes is another option. It's similar to multiple choice with one really big difference. Participants are allowed to select more than one item. Another option is Dropdown. It's another version of the multiple choice. Participant clicks on choose, and they get to see choices that you have previously selected. They pop up, and they're allowed to pick one of those choices. So here we go. Number 2, what could be added to this presentation? If somebody clicks on choose, then I put in these as options. A, videos, B, written directions. You can read the rest. And you get the idea. This is also very helpful in the administrative part of the test. If a group of classrooms having different teachers are going to be taking the same test, then this could be the choose your teacher part of the admin section. And A could be Alpha, Baker, Charlie, Dog. Linear scale. You can set the linear scale from 0 to 1, and that 1 can be changed to be a number 2 through 10. So it can be 0 to 2, 0 to 10. You can put descriptions at each end, and that eliminates that confusing you got all 5s on some sort of an evaluation, and people thought that was the best when it really meant that you were at your worst. This helps eliminate the upside down, as I described. So here I have my settings set to 1, low, 5. If I click on those, I can change them. And here, for next to number 1, it's going to say I need help. And next to 5, it means I'm a Jedi Master. So looking at it in preview mode, you can see that number 1 is right next to I need help. Number 5 is next to Jedi Master, and that there's a scale in between. Multiple choice grid. In the rows, you're going to place labels. The columns are going to be the headings that are offering the choices. In multiple choice grid, just like the multiple choice option, they're only allowed one selection or one answer per row. This allows you to look at a bigger picture. So you can see on the left, under rows, I've got docs, sheets, slides, draw. And in the more toward the center, I've got columns, never used, open. You get the idea. The little X's mean that you can delete those options. And if I go to preview, it's going to look like this. And they could select, for example, docs. They could pick one of those 4 options. If they select an other, the previously selected option becomes unchecked. Checkbox Grid. Rows, labels, sounds familiar. Columns, headings, offering choices. This sounds very familiar. Multiple selections per row are allowed. This is a nice option for a survey. So here, I have a question: when is your best time to perform the following? So you notice on the homework row, 2 options are selected. And down here for Facebook and texting, there are 3 options for each of those choices. Date. Answer is one specific date. The date can be manually entered, or you can use the pop-up calendar feature. It will look in the past or look to the future. So when were you born? You could go in here to the options and make sure that you want to include the year if that's important for you. So if you do include the year, here you can just manually enter this. You can click on that, and in the 2-digit month, 2-digit day, 4-digit year format, you can enter that. Or you can click on the pop-up calendar icon here, and you get a calendar. And this is something that you've probably seen before. And this will allow a participant to scroll by months. And this will allow somebody to scroll by year. So if you click on that, you get this option here, and then the scroll bar where you can go into the past or into the future. Time. Answer is a specific time or a duration. You can manually enter it, and you have the same options layout as the date. So what time did you get up for school? Check for options, and you can set it for time or duration. Time is appropriate here. So the person participating here selected 8:40 a.m. They probably have some tardy issues. These are question types and forms. I'm Charlie Haffey. Oh my, that is an overwhelming amount of information. That's not the worst part. You really have to understand response validation and options too, in order to do this whole business of setting up form questions correctly. And I do have a presentation on that. If you have any questions about this topic, please email me. I'd love to hear from you. If you have a topic that you'd like to see made into another video, please let me know that too. My name is Charlie Haffey. Thanks for watching.